"Can you see anything?" Lord Carnarvon asked, as Howard Carter pressed his eye to the crack in the tomb, his candlelight barely piercing the darkness. "Yes," Carter murmured. "Wonderful things." It was exactly 100 years ago that a 12-year-old boy stumbled upon a buried step in Egypt's Valley of the Kings, unknowingly setting history in motion. In November 1922, Carter and Lord Carnarvon breached the tomb's chambers, but it wasn't until February 16th that they unsealed the final door. Inside, untouched for over 3,000 years, lay the boy king, his face concealed by a golden mask that would become one of the most famous images in history. Since then, few discoveries have captured the world's imagination, quite like Tutankhamun's. His treasures continue to fascinate, soon to take center stage at Cairo's Grand Egyptian Museum. But there are still other wonderful things hidden across the world, treasures as grand, if not greater. And in this video, we're going to explore 15 of them that could change everything. Let's start off with number 15, the Amber Room. A chamber of pure amber, gold, and jewels, this room was once considered the eighth wonder of the world. Built in the 18th century in Prussia and later gifted to Russia, it became the pride of the Catherine Palace near St. Petersburg, until the Nazis looted it in 1941. They dismantled the room piece by piece, shipping it to Königsberg Castle in Germany, where it was displayed as a war trophy. As the war neared its end, with the Red Army advancing, Hitler ordered the Amber Room to be moved again. That was the last anyone saw of it. Some believe it was destroyed in Allied bombings, others think it was hidden in a mine, buried in a lake, or sunk on a German ship attacked by Soviet forces. A clue emerged in 1997 when a stolen mosaic from the room was found in a German soldier's home. The search continues, with recent hopes pinned on a sunken ship, the Karlsruhe, where divers may have finally found traces of this great treasure. Number 14, the Menorah of the Second Temple. In 70 CE, Roman forces stormed Jerusalem, destroying the Second Temple, Judaism's holiest site, and looting its treasures. Among them was the great golden menorah, a 7-branched candlestick that symbolized divine light. Roman soldiers carried the menorah through the streets of Rome in triumph, an event famously depicted on the Arch of Titus, where it remains carved in stone. Historians agree it was placed in the Temple of Peace, but what happened next is a mystery. When the Vandals sacked Rome in 455 CE, they likely seized it and took it to Carthage. Later, the Byzantines looted Carthage and may have brought the menorah to Constantinople. Some claim it was sent back to Jerusalem, others believe it was melted down. But Jewish tradition suggests it remains hidden in Rome, possibly kept in secret by the Vatican. Modern conspiracy theories even claim it lies in an underground vault, but, as always, there is no proof. Number 13, the Treasure of Alaric. In 410 CE, Rome fell, not to an empire but to Alaric and his Visigoths, who stormed the city, looted its wealth, and enslaved its people. After 3 days of chaos, they left with an unimaginable fortune: gold, silver, and relics looted from the empire's heart. Alaric, however, didn't live long to enjoy it. Soon after, he died, possibly from malaria, and his followers, determined to bury him like a king, supposedly diverted the Busento River to create an underground tomb. They placed his body, along with the stolen treasure, beneath the riverbed, then let the waters flow back over it. To ensure the location remained a secret, every slave involved in the burial was executed. Treasure hunters, including the Nazis under Heinrich Himmler, have searched for Alaric's tomb for centuries, but it has never been found. Some believe its discovery could also unlock another mystery: whether the golden menorah of Jerusalem's Second Temple lies buried with him. Number 12, the Great Bell of Damizetti. In 1484, King Damazidi of Hanthawadi ordered the creation of the world's largest temple bell. Cast from bronze and gold, it was a stunning masterpiece, except for one problem. It made an awful sound. Rather than hang it in a temple, officials placed it in a hall, where it became more of a curiosity than a sacred object. For nearly a century, the bell remained in Burma's Shwedagon Pagoda until Portuguese mercenary Felipe de Brito e Nicole decided to steal it. Planning to melt it down for cannon metal, he had it rolled down a hill and onto a raft. But the bell was far heavier than anticipated. The raft broke apart, and the bell sank into the Bago River. For centuries, attempts to recover it have failed. With the river's course having shifted over time, experts now wonder if they've been searching in the wrong place all along. Number 11. Leonardo's Battle of Anghiari. Leonardo da Vinci created fewer than 20 surviving paintings, but one of his greatest works might be hiding in plain sight. Commissioned in 1505, the Battle of Anghiari was meant to adorn the Hall of the 500 in Florence's Palazzo Vecchio, opposite a fresco by his rival Michelangelo. The painting depicted a chaotic cavalry battle, an intense struggle over a single flag. Leonardo, always an innovator, experimented with a new painting technique. It failed. As the colors bled and the work deteriorated, he abandoned it. Yet for nearly 50 years, what remained of the Battle of Anghiari was admired, until the hall was remodeled in the 16th century. Some believe the painting wasn't destroyed, but hidden behind a false wall. In 2012, small samples of paint matching Leonardo's work were found, but further investigation was blocked to protect the later frescoes. Some experts now doubt the Battle of Anghiari was ever completed, but others remain convinced that one of Da Vinci's lost masterpieces still waits to be uncovered. Number 10. King John's Lost Crown Jewels. King John of England is remembered for all the wrong reasons: losing wars, being forced to sign the Magna Carta, and, if legend holds true, misplacing the entire royal treasury. In 1216, just months before his death, John traveled north to Newark Castle, crossing a treacherous estuary called the Wash. His baggage train, weighed down with gold, silver, and England's crown jewels, was caught in a freak tide and swallowed by the mud. For centuries, treasure hunters have scoured the shifting landscapes of East Anglia, hoping to unearth the lost riches. Some historians debate what was actually lost. Was it ceremonial regalia, or an even greater fortune looted from monasteries? Two rival amateur archaeologists now claim they've found the burial site. One, Raymond Kashuk, even plans to dig. If they're right, the discovery could be England's greatest treasure find, hidden beneath centuries of silt, just waiting to be reclaimed. Number 9. The Ark of the Covenant. According to the Hebrew Bible, the Ark of the Covenant was a sacred chest built to house the stone tablets of the Ten Commandments. Covered in gold and carried by the Israelites through the wilderness, it was eventually placed in King Solomon's temple in Jerusalem. Then, in 607 BCE, disaster struck. The Babylonians besieged Jerusalem, slaughtering its people and reducing the city to ruins. When survivors returned from exile, the Ark had vanished. No one knows if it was hidden before the attack or destroyed in the chaos, but it was never seen again. For centuries, theories have placed the Ark everywhere, from Ethiopia to a hidden chamber beneath the Temple Mount. Some believe it lies deep within Vatican vaults. Treasure hunters and archaeologists have searched for it relentlessly, yet no solid evidence has emerged. If found, it wouldn't just be a priceless artifact. It would be one of history's greatest discoveries. Number 8. Amaro Pargo's Treasure. Amaro Pargo was a feared pirate, a Spanish privateer, and a legend of the Canary Islands. He spent the early 18th century raiding enemy ships along the Cadiz-Caribbean trade route, amassing a fortune in gold, silver, pearls, and jewels. Unlike most pirates, he was known for his generosity, earning a reputation as Spain's own Robin Hood. By the time of his death in 1747, Pargo was one of the richest men in the Canaries. In his will, he mentioned a chest filled with priceless treasures, gold, Chinese porcelain, paintings, and rare fabrics, all listed in a book wrapped in parchment and marked with the letter D. But there was one problem. He never revealed where the book was. Over the centuries, treasure hunters have scoured his former homes, hidden caves, and even church vaults, but no one has found a trace. If Pargo's treasure exists, it remains one of Spain's greatest unsolved mysteries. Number 7. Montezuma's treasure. When Hernán Cortés arrived in Tenochtitlan in 1519, Aztec Emperor Montezuma II welcomed him with gold and gifts, hoping to appease the foreign invaders. It didn't work. Cortés put Montezuma under house arrest, looted the city, and sparked a rebellion. In 1520, after a brutal massacre during a religious festival, the Aztecs fought back, forcing the Spanish into a desperate retreat. Fleeing through the city's causeways, the Spanish dumped their stolen treasures into Lake Texcoco to lighten their escape. Though Cortés returned a year later to conquer Tenochtitlan, the treasure was never recovered. Most believe it still lies at the lake's bottom, though some say it was secretly smuggled north, perhaps as far as Utah. Despite countless searches, no one has found definitive proof. If Montezuma's treasure is ever recovered, it would be one of the greatest archaeological finds in the Americas. Number 6. The Beale Treasure. The Beale Treasure is one of America's most famous lost hoards, millions in gold, silver, and jewels, supposedly buried in Virginia in the early 1800s. According to legend, a man named Thomas J. Beale and his group mined the treasure out west, then hid it in 3 separate locations before vanishing. Beale left behind a set of encrypted messages known as the Beale Papers, detailing the treasure's whereabouts. The first cipher was cracked in the 1880s, revealing vague coordinates, but the remaining 2, believed to contain the exact location, have never been solved. Treasure hunters have spent decades searching Virginia, convinced the fortune is still out there. Some claim to have found clues, but no proof has ever surfaced. Whether it's real or just a hoax, the mystery remains. And if the Beale treasure does exist, it could be worth upwards of $60 million, waiting for someone to decipher the final clues. Number 5. SS Minden. In 1939, while en route from Rio de Janeiro to Germany, the Nazi ship SS Minden encountered a British vessel off the coast of Iceland. According to legend, the Nazis deliberately sank their own ship to prevent its cargo, a rumored hoard of gold, from falling into British hands. In 2017 and 2018, a UK-based company launched an effort to locate the sunken vessel and its elusive treasure. Mapping efforts by Iceland's Marine and Freshwater Research Institute have identified the potential site of the wreck, but to date, no gold has been discovered. The mystery remains unsolved. Number 4. The Tomb of Emperor Qin. The tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, has been sitting beneath an artificial hill outside Xi'an for over 2,000 years. Unlike most lost treasures, there's no mystery about where it is. The challenge here is getting inside. Ancient records describe a tomb unlike anything the world has seen. Palaces, towers, and entire rivers of liquid mercury set to flow endlessly. The emperor's obsession with immortality didn't end there. Booby traps were supposedly built into the walls, armed with crossbows ready to fire at any intruders. The closest archaeologists have come is the Terracotta Army. Thousands of life-sized warriors found in 1974 standing guard for the emperor in the afterlife. As for the tomb itself, it remains sealed. The fear is that opening it with today's technology could destroy everything inside. Until a safer method is found, which may never be done, Qin Shi Huang's treasures will stay buried, waiting for the right moment. Number 3. The Treasure of Lima. By 1820, Spanish rule in South America was crumbling. In Lima, fearing the city would fall to revolutionaries, the viceroy ordered a desperate evacuation, not of people, but of treasure. Loaded onto a ship bound for Mexico, the haul included gold, jewels, and religious artifacts, among them a 2.13-meter solid gold statue of the Virgin Mary. Somewhere along the journey, greed took over. The crew mutinied, murdered the guards and priests, and turned pirates. They buried the treasure on Cocos Island, off the coast of Costa Rica. But their escape didn't last long. Captured by the Spanish Navy, they were tried and hanged, all except 2 who promised to reveal the treasure's location. Instead, they vanished into the jungle, taking the secret with them. Treasure hunters, from explorers to criminals like Bugsy Siegel, have scoured Cocos for decades, but all have failed. Some believe the pirates named the island as a diversion, so it can be there. Number 2. Mallory and Irvine's pocket camera. The world's tallest mountain was officially conquered on May 29, 1953, by Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. But did someone beat them to it nearly 30 years earlier? In 1924, British climbers George Mallory and Andrew Sandy Irvine made their final push toward Everest's summit. They were last seen on June 8th, high on the mountain, heading toward the top. Then, they vanished. 75 years later, in 1999, Mallory's frozen body was discovered at 8,157 meters, just 700 meters from the summit. His belongings were still intact, but the photograph of his wife, which he had promised to leave at the summit, was missing. Did he make it? The key to solving the mystery is Irvine's Kodak Pocket Vest camera, which he was carrying when they disappeared. If recovered, experts believe the film inside could still be developed and prove things. Number 1. The Tomb of Nefertiti. Queen Nefertiti, famed for her beauty and power, was the great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten and stepmother to Tutankhamun. She ruled during Egypt's most controversial period and disappeared from records around 1330 BCE. To this day, her burial place remains unknown. Most pharaohs' tombs were looted long ago, yet some believe Nefertiti's remains intact, hidden behind a sealed chamber within Tutankhamun's tomb. Evidence includes ancient cartouches, wall inscriptions, that depict the young pharaoh burying his stepmother. British Egyptologist Nicholas Reeves has suggested that Tutankhamun's tomb is merely the outermost chamber of a much grander burial site, originally built for Nefertiti. Initial scans even indicated a possible hidden doorway, though experts now dispute the findings. Meanwhile, renowned archaeologist Zahi Hawass claims to have located her mummy, though no conclusive proof has been presented. If uncovered, her tomb could rival the discovery of Tutankhamun, rewriting Egypt's history once again. If you've enjoyed watching this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.